Lately, my 9-year-old keeps asking if we're all going to be okay. She's worried about everything. How can I help her feel safe when I don't always feel that way myself?
So, your daughter is right on schedule for developing these kinds of fears. When children's imaginations grow, their fears tend to grow also. So, what can you do? You can't tell her nothing bad is going to happen. You can do something that I call 3 worry questions. So, the first worry question is, how bad? And with this question, it's not, do you like it? Of course, you don't like it. It's bad. So we want to think of a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is you have to cut your fingernails. That's bad. I don't like cutting my fingernails. And 10 is the worst thing I can possibly imagine, which is everyone you love is dead. And 5 is that you have to move and leave all your friends and everything familiar. That would be very hard, but you'd still have your family, you'd make new friends, you would get through it. Now, sometimes parents will say, oh, I can't say everyone is dead. Yes, you can. It doesn't make it true just because you say it and just because you imagine it. And that's what we want to get through here. So, on a scale of fingernails to death, how bad would this situation be? The second worry question is how likely? And this is where kids with vivid imaginations tend to get tangled because they can imagine things very vividly. So it feels like they're very real and going to happen any second. But that's not true. So we have some sub questions. The first sub question is, how many times has this happened to you in the past year? How about the past 5 years? And then we can also ask, how many people do you personally know who've had this happen? The third worry question is the trickiest. It's, could or should I do something about this? And there are sub questions with this one too. So the first question is it controllable? Is it something that anybody can fix or prevent? And sometimes the answer is no. The second sub question is, are you the best qualified person to deal with this problem? So I often have kids in my practice who are afraid of terrorists or bad guys or something. And I'll ask them, have you had any training in dealing with criminals? And usually they say no. And I say, me neither. So why don't we leave this to the experts who have had training and do this all day, every day for their work? The third sub question is the cost of trying to do something about it too high? For instance, let's say your kid is worried about catching a bad disease. Now, maybe they could live all by themselves on a desert island. Good idea? No, of course not, because they're giving up way too much. The cost of trying to prevent this is too high. Or another one is sometimes as kids' imaginations grow, they'll be afraid of going for a drive because what if they're in an accident? So, should they never drive anywhere? Well, the cost of that for most people is way too high because they would be giving up too much. So, if it's not that bad, or not that likely, or not something we could or should do something about, then we need to let it go.